how did you get through those tough times, as every franchisor has to go through sometimes? And how did you just deal with the people in those times?
For us, for sure, it was COVID. We had gone on a real growth curve in 2019. We really took off. So we were becoming a fairly big brand heading into 2020. And then COVID hit. So our business was to shuttle people around in mid-sized vans. We did some work in transporting employees, but a majority of our business was taking people to weddings, to airport, and to brewery tours and wine tours. And so as you can imagine, that went to zero, that went to zero, and that went to zero. And so franchisees were scared. And I'd never managed through a global pandemic before. When you start to think about the level of implications that are there, there's a lot. And some of those implications are tied to the fact that they're frightened for their family. And so we got together as a team and we said, look, we've never managed through a health pandemic before. What are we going to do? And we came up with a 4-tier strategy and we stuck with it all the way through COVID. But one of the strategic components was you have to be very healthy in order to run a business, both physically and mentally. And so we were doing things like virtual workouts where we could, nutrition training, educating on how to manage from home in this kind of confined environment, when to turn the news off. So we could help try and manage as best as we could through that period. One of the 4 tiers of the strategy was we won't do anything that doesn't help flatten the curve. And so this second one, it really caused some conflict because franchisees were saying, look, there's a loophole in the law. We can drive across the border and pick up people who aren't supposed to be traveling because we're allowed to. And we said, yes, but that doesn't fit that part of the strategy, so we're not going to do it. So what we did was we came up with a strategy, and so I started calling, and my wife always recounts this, but I did 365 straight days of phone calls every single day talking to franchisees. And it was really important because they were afraid. But what we had to do is we had to determine which parts of that group weren't going to continue, and we had to help them with dignity, find other work, and go and do something else.
If you loved that session and that conversation as much as I did, would love to have you join our People Playbook community in the link below.